What's up, everybody? It's your favorite baby version's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the MechFansToys Steel Ambition. Now, as you guys know, MechFansToys does a lot of KOs. As you may also know, I don't review KOs. And as I hope you know, if a KO company does an original mold and I have access to it, I will give it the respect it deserves as an original mold. This particular piece was sent to me by Joel W. Shout out to him. I appreciate it. And we're going to take a look at this guy. I think this might be my first MechFansToys look. I've looked at the DX9 stuff that they've KO'd. I think there's a complicated story to that I may know a bit about, but that's not the subject of this review. The subject of this review is this figure, and we're going to take a look at it. But in order to do so, we got to start with accessories. So he comes with 3 guns, 2 purple ones and 1 gray one, all sculpted the same, and all of them have the same amount of paint, which is to say none, which isn't necessarily unheard of for a Legends figure. They are all sculpted nicely. And he'll hold it just fine in a 5mm port type of action. Now the gun can tab in between the 2 shoulder blades with 2 tabs if you want that look for train mode. The guns will peg into these ports on the side of the shuttle mode on both sides. He also comes with 2 additional heads, and they're mostly gray as well. The one has the red stripe and the different shade of gray, but you can see what they're doing there. Now, Joel was kind enough to send some information along the way that might help you make sense of all of this. This is a different release of this mold. There was Iron Sky, which was MS-20, and then later Iron Sky Recolor, which was MS-20B. 20 was for the G1 cartoon, 20B was for the Japanese toy, but still had the same tune head. Both come with 2 rifles in respective colors and a flight stand adapter. Does not have a stand of its own, but is compatible with the Iron Factory and New Age 5mm peg stands, so he's included one of his Iron Factory stands to show that off. Now this MS-18 Steel Ambition is numbered differently because a second designer was involved in the changes. The head was changed to be closer to the toy, shoulders and thighs are also changed but very slightly decoed to the G1 US toy, and includes these heads, the G1 Toon color, the G1 toy color, and the Japanese G1 toy color. And Joel presumes that it was a gotta catch 'em all kind of thing for those that prefer one style over the other. So hopefully that makes sense to you. This KO adjacent toy company stuff gets very messy for my tastes, but that's the background here. And as mentioned, it also comes with the 1 flight stand adapter, which will fit on any 5mm peg system, such as this Iron Factory one, as shown. That adapter can sit between the biceps, and the gun will still fit in there, by the way, if you want that look, just to store it. Basically, I guess it's like an additional smokestack, but I don't know. It'll fit. It doesn't peg in or anything, but it'll go in there. And if you put your port in the same place in shuttle mode as you did in train mode, it will be used as an adapter for a stand, an Iron Factory stand, or any stand with a 5mm port. So let's take a look at the figure. First of all, there's some really nice sculpted stuff on here for what they're trying to go for, right? With the, I mean, I know it's the toy stuff and all that, but this sculpt for the head is definitely trying to get the tune, and it looks great. I love it. It's a great sculpt for the head. Let me zoom in because it's worth taking a look at. The materials feel good as well. The yellow is painted on, and the red eyes are painted on at least. The head is on a ball peg. You get up to there, down to there, swivel, bit of a confused dog look. The purple pieces here, the flat gray, the metallic red, and purple are painted on the abdomen. While we're on the subject of the abdomen, we can back out a bit now. You do get a waist swivel, no ab crunch. For the shoulders, you got ball pegs that get you out to 90 degrees. You got a little wiggle waggle there, but not a whole lot. Bicep swivel, single hinged elbow that gets you 90 degrees. Wrist is on a hinge up and down, no swivel. And we have some purple paint applied, just for accents or probably for alt mode stuff. Same for the other side. The wings are on ball pegs as well, so you can get them up, you can get them out of the way, which actually is beneficial when you're posing them. And we have black line work, paint work done along the wings that looks really sharp. All right, for the legs, I have to say this flap here, I wish this pegged in somewhere because it is obnoxious and it always is coming undone. We have T-jointed ball joints for hips, get you out to there for the full Van Damme. You get this hip skirt out of the way aggressively for the full Monty. Thigh swivel, single hinge knee that gets you 90 degrees. Moving down to the lower legs, we have gray paint see what we got going on here. That's just plastic silver. We'll get to that eventually, I suppose. Kind of fine. This is a bit, you know, simplistic here. I feel like most Legends class are sophisticated beyond this, where it wouldn't just look like a flap of train tracks. I could be wrong, but I feel like that. Ankle tilt down. Not really an ankle tilt up. There's not really space for it. And a rocker's on the ball peg for the toe, which cheats it, but it ends up looking good. See if we can't get this back on. All right. And then there it is from the back. And I think it's relatively good to go, to be honest. No real issues. It's surprising. I will say that I am impressed, where I wouldn't have necessarily thought I would be. Not that I would think it was inherently bad, right? Because I've looked at some of their original designs before, some of their DX9 stuff, but I was impressed. Specifically with the materials. Materials feel pretty good. Some parts better than others, but overall pretty good. Size comparison wise, there he is next to our two trusty Legends choices, the original Iron Factory Blaster and a Hasbro Legends class figure. And there he is with Iron Factory Tarn. So he's a good sized figure, especially for Legends class. He should fit in quite nicely with most of your regular G1 lineup from the Major 2, depending on which scale you're going with. All right, let's get him transformed. Turn the head around and then bring up the backpack. This part, gray part, will flip up, spin this entire section around, close the gray part back down to encapsulate this area. Open up this flap, tuck the hand in, close the flap back up, and color coordinate your arm. And the same goes for this side. It's a purple flap, tuck the hand in, fold the flap back up, color coordinate. Open up these flaps on the front of his legs, and then Combiner Wars his legs down. And then close these back up, and then tab the legs together and the feet. They have a number of different places where this will happen. Just sort it out. And then flip your purple flaps, and that peg or that slot and tab will find their way together. Then bring the arms towards the back. There's a little flap on the side of the fist which will tab in to the side of the locomotive. And then tighten that up. Lastly, bring your wings down. You can see where they're going to tab in. And then fold the wing towards the bottom, which I think the G1 toy did, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while. I'll clean it up. We'll take a look at it. And there you have it. And I think it's pretty effective. It doesn't roll, and we have some breakup and sculpt along the way, but it's a Legends class figure, so I think generally we're a bit more forgiving. The yellow paint there on the window looks good. Once again, I feel like this back section's a little small, much like the Thomas. And then we have this silver paint applied to the back here, which looks good. It's a couple silver accents there on the tracks. Yeah, pretty good. Good color breakup there. You know, nothing special, but no real issue other than what it looks like next to Tiger Tracks. I'm trying to get a little bit bolder with the setup here. Mr. Brink, I heard you loud and clear. Now, to get it to shuttle mode, you got to kind of undo, unfortunately, most of what you've done. So get your wings out of the way. Get your arms out of the way. So that we can split the legs. And let's see. Open up the purple section. Foot in. Cockpit out. Foot in. So the foot is trading places like Eddie Murphy with the cockpit. So open that up. Flip, flip. Flip you for real. And close that. Close that. Bring up the arms and just bring them right back to where they were, which means that tab there has to clip on to the side. Same for this piece. And what else? Just common sense stuff from here, I think. We'll flip these down. We'll flip the wings up. They're held between those two tabs on the side of the wings. Nothing crazy. And then you flip this up, and now you've got your shuttle. I'll clean it up. We'll take a look at it. And there it is. And once again, I think it's pretty effective. You know, like the color palette works. I don't have any real issues with it. I'm pretty happy with it, honestly. I think they did a good job. You can sit it up on its little thrusters there. You can use your flight stand. Orange translucent. Otherwise, all the deco and details we've kind of already spoken about. Even little things like that little square bit. It would have been nice to put paint in there. But I guess it would have thrown off robot mode a bit. But it still would have been nice. But yeah, it's just little stuff like that would have made something good better. But it's pretty well done. No issues, other than I haven't shown what he looks like next to Tiger Tracks. Final thoughts wise, let's talk about the negatives. My biggest issue are the train tracks, like the wheels. That flap, I wish it pegged in robot mode. It doesn't, and as a result, it's kind of obnoxious. I found myself constantly having to fiddle with it and sort it out and get it fixed and get it back and blah, blah, blah. One little reverse peg would have solved all those problems. I also noticed a few stress marks around the way, particularly in the tabs that support the wings. So the tabs that are on the train track wheels on the opposite side that support the wings in shuttle mode, because the shuttle mode wings are a bit thicker, I think, than they expected them to be or knew they were going to be, and as a result, we got some stress marks there. And other than that, I think that's it. Before we move on to positives, I will say that one thing I wish they did was a wrist swivel. Would have been nice. Not the biggest deal in the world, just worth noting. But let's move on to positives. Like I said in the beginning, I think the sculpt is beautiful. I think they did a really good job. I think it's clean. I think it's sharp. I think it's on point. The articulation is pretty well done. It's not going to rock your world or blow your socks off, but it kind of has the bare essentials of everything that you would want. I have to say what I enjoyed the most, and it may just be because I just went through a pretty complicated one with Thomas, but what I enjoyed the most was the transformation process. It was pretty fun, intuitive, enjoyable, felt like a toy, but a pretty well-made one. So with that, it's a recommend from me. Stop KOing stuff and give us more original designs. You're good at it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.